Shalom everyone. The final act of consecration, laying down the last thing held back from God and discovering what happens when you do, surrendering everything. Today is day 46 of the Omer. There is always one last thing. After all the work of the Omer, after 46 days of removing Egypt and walking the wilderness and gathering manna, receiving the 10 words and entering the covenant and sitting in the upper room and consecrating the vessel, there is always one last thing that has not yet been fully surrendered. Not because you forgot it, not because you did not know it was there all along, but because it was the one thing you were hoping God would not ask for. The thing so close to your identity, your security, or your version of the future that handing it over felt less like an act of faith and more like dying. And now, 3 days before the fire falls, God is asking for it. Not to take it away from you, not to remove it from your life, but to consecrate it, to transform it from the thing you hold on to into the thing He fills. In Romans chapter 12, verse 1, the Apostle Paul writes, "I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship." In Matthew chapter 16, verse 25, Yeshua on the paradox of surrender. "For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit." Recorded in John chapter 12, verse 24. Every great encounter with God in Scripture was preceded by a final act of surrendering the most precious thing. Abraham, the knife raised over Isaac, the son of promise, the thing he had waited for 25 years to receive. Moses, his staff laid down at the burning bush, the tool of his own competence and independence. The disciples, their nets left on the shore, their livelihood and their identity abundant in a single moment at the word of a stranger. In every case, the last surrender was not the loss of what was precious, it was the transformation of it. God gave Isaac back, and through him a nation. God used the staff to part the sea. The disciples who left their nets became fishers of men on a large scale beyond anything they could have planned. The last thing surrendered never comes back the same. It comes back consecrated. What is the last thing? You know what it is. You have known what it is for most of this journey. It surfaced on day 3 when we talked about the idol you defend. It came back again on day 22 when we stood at the first word, "No other gods before me." It was there on day 28 when we examined, "Do not covet." It has been present through every week and every mirror and every practical step and every weekly declaration. The thing you keep coming back to. The thing that when you imagine fully releasing it to God, something in you tightens slightly and pulls back. Your future, your ministry vision, your relationship, your financial security, your reputation, your carefully constructed plan for how this is all supposed to go. 3 days to Pentecost. The last thing is the only thing standing between a full vessel and the filling. Laying it down, not in loss, but in worship. Romans chapter 12 says, presenting yourself fully to God, including the last thing, is your spiritual worship. It is not the cost of the fire. It is the act of consecration that invites it. The final surrender, 3 days out. Write in your journal, and do not write the safe answer. Write the actual one. The last thing I have not yet fully surrendered to God. The thing I have been holding back is, name it with its real name. The one that makes something in you tighten slightly when you write it. That tightening tells you it is the right answer. That is what today is about. Take a physical action that represents the surrender. Write the last thing on a piece of paper and hold it in open hands before God and say it out aloud, slowly, with full intention. God, this is the last thing. I have been holding it because I was afraid of losing it. But you did not ask Abraham to lose Isaac. You asked him to surrender Isaac. I surrender this. Take it, consecrate it, transform it, or release it on your terms, not mine. Either way, it is no longer mine to hold. I open my hands. After the surrender, write this and receive it as a covenant truth. What I have just laid down has not been lost. It has been consecrated. The grain of wheat that falls into the ground does not disappear. It multiplies into something more than it ever was in my hands. The vessel is fully open. What God fills with His Spirit will be worth more than anything I held on to. Lay down the last thing. Open your hands and surrender. 3 days to the fire. See you tomorrow.